on the bottom.
The part, yeah, where it's got the cavity right there with exposure, where you really either put blocking in, or a lot of sometimes the guys will go with sheetrock all the way up first and then build in the soffit.
Yep.
And then that does the same thing.
Oh, got it. Just to prevent fire from. I see
Right.
what you're saying.
Right.
Yeah. No, I mean, besides that, it's nothing crazy.
No.
I mean, I can walk you through it via video if you want.
Yeah, I mean, we're still doing something. Is there people living in there right now, or is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But they're in like the other half of the house.
Yeah, I mean, if it's vacated to a certain degree, we can walk through and do an inspection. That's not a big deal.
It's up to you. I mean, do you think you got enough from it, or?
I kind of looked at them briefly. That was the one thing I just saw was the soffit.
Yeah, let me know, because the bathroom was there. It's just we just pulled out it was like a single vanity, and there was this funky steam shower thing that was like pre-built steam shower in this like dome. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
Like a pod from a spacecraft.
And then it looked like the plumber did all his fire clock, and I just didn't know if one section didn't look like the electrician did his.
I'll double check it.
Yeah. Okay.
Down below though is the garage, and that's got 5/8. But still, I mean, you still don't want to run it up.
Yeah, just where all the when you got the penetrations in the walls. That's all.
Yeah, I'll double check for that. But everything's plated too.
I saw the plates everywhere. That was good.
Yeah, they're pretty good about that.
Where the heck is everybody? It's 7:01. Heather's here. Hello, Heather.
Hey.
How do you
call in if you're gonna be, if you want to do a pre-hearing? How do you call in for that?
How do you call in for a pre-hearing?
Or how do you get on to how do you do anything that you want, if someone wants to come in?
If you weren't on the agenda, you can still contact Linda and try to get added in.
Oh, even for a pre?
I believe so, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because you guys wouldn't be voting on it at that meeting anyway. You're just basically making sure they have all the items for the actual hearing.
Right.
So I suppose it's open to the public. It's on the webpage, so it's on the Town and Groton webpage. So I suppose anybody can come in.
Okay.
Can come in at this time if they had something to offer with it. Does anyone know where anybody else is from?
No.
So I'm here. I was just muted, and you can't see me, which is really nice because I don't like seeing me.
Me either.
So Heather,
not you. I don't like to see
No, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. So were you going to hopefully talk at the pre-meeting tonight?
Well, yes, because originally, I don't even know if you can really see it from the street. So I was going to at least put a picture up and see if you wanted me to come back or not, or if the group wanted me to come back or not.
Okay.
It's pretty minor what I'm doing, but obviously I just want to run it by everybody. But it's just adding some stone onto an existing wall. But because I'm going up in some places a little, I just wanted to get everyone's take on it.
Okay. So I missed the first part of what Pete was saying.
Oh, she was talking about a pre-application, how we're handling the pre-application process. If they don't get a chance to talk to you or talk to me prior to the meeting, if they can just come on the meeting and talk. I suppose they could if they went in and got the information and, we're an attendee and, we were requesting, I guess Sarah would bring it up and ask at that time.
Okay, so I think I don't know, I can't hear very well today on this computer, so I don't know. And I joined without my picture. I don't know how that happened. The only thing I can say is I do see live streaming is on, Pete.
I got that squared away this time.
Oh, the host has asked you to start your video. Well, maybe I won't tonight. But anyway, so yeah, if people do contact me, I'll email them how to join the meeting. That's all. That's the only thing I'm doing different. And sometimes they can find it themselves on the website, I guess. Wow, that is, I gotta get some light shielding or something here. Wow. my desk, so I'm a little different. Little different location here. Anyway.
Well, I'm not sure why I look like an Oompa Loompa. I have fluorescent lights as well, but I appear orange.
Not like this. This is like strange, weird.
All right.
We got participants in there. You want me to bring them in, or?
So I know Don's coming, although we don't necessarily need him, but I don't know if it's just, I don't think it would be disruptive for him to join in the middle. It's just like us walking in the middle of the room, I guess, right? Oh, you know what? What might be delaying him, before I could jump on, what took me a while is for me to log on, my Zoom needed to update, which took like 3 or 4 minutes. So yeah, so maybe he's having the same trouble that I did. So I guess we can start. No reason to wait.
Oh.
Want to bring them in?
Hi,
I'll bring
Don.
them in. Cindy.
Yeah. Hi. Are you having trouble logging on?
Do you want me to promote all the panelists again?
Okay.
Sarah?
Let's wait till Linda's off
I'll
the
do
phone.
that to you.
Okay.
Sometimes I
I'm
feel
talking
like-
to Don, actually. So the meeting ID. Yep. Okay. 814-7673-4929. And you're going to need the password 743877.
Well, I don't think I did that.
Did I do that? I don't think so. Go ahead. I'm here. I'm here. Yes. Yes. Perfect. All right. Bye-bye. I'm all set. But I don't know what that is.
I think that's just Pierre going through the
Trying
Oh,
to set it up.
applications.
There we go.
All right, so I guess Don signed. If you want to promote everyone here, that's fine for me.
Okay. Okay. Is that quick? Okay, got that out of the way. All right, so you want me to do the reading?
Please.
Okay. This meeting for the Historic District Commission will take place in a webinar format through Zoom. The chair of the commission is Sarah Moriarty. The host of the webinar is the building official. Staff attending this meeting include Peters of English, James Quinn, and Linda Galetta. Anyone speaking should state their names prior to speaking each time. The panelists in this webinar meeting will be the commission members and the building staff. Panelists who would like to comment on an item should indicate by using the icon to raise hand at the bottom of the screen. After a panelist raises their hand, they will be able to comment one at a time when called upon by the chairman. Panelists should mute their microphones until called upon. To make a motion or second a motion, commission members can raise a hand and be acknowledged by the host or chair. To vote on a motion, commission members will be called upon individually by the chair to vote. Public can participate in the meeting during the public communications agenda item. The public will be asked to raise their hand during the public communications if they want to speak at this time by using the icon to raise hand at the bottom of the screen. The public will be called upon by the host one at a time and will be able to speak during this time. Attendees must identify themselves prior to speaking. Attendees can also submit any comments in writing to the building department after the meeting for consideration and any items discussed tonight. That is that.
All right, so I will call a meeting to order on June 2nd at 7 p.m. And I will first take a roll call. Sarah here, Heather,
Here.
Todd is not here. Don, we expect him, but he's not here. Eric,
Here.
Mark, not here. Linda,
Here.
Peter,
Here.
and Seamus, also not here. No sub needs to be set, so we need to read the call. Do you want me to read the call since Todd's not here, or does someone else want to do it?
That's fine.
Just requires mouse isn't moving. Dear Michelle, please pub the following public notice for one insertion on Monday, May 25th, 2020. Town of Groton notice of public hearing, Historic District Commission. The Historic District Commission will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, June 2nd at 2020 at 7 p.m. at the Groton Town Hall Annex, 134 Groton Long Point Road, to hear the following applications requesting a certificate of appropriateness. HGC 20-28, 19 New London Road, Scott Schroeder, owner applicant, widened driveway, PIN number 261918206180. HGC 20-29, 368 High Street, Dawn Miller, owner applicant, rebuild chimney, PIN number 261914332362. HGC 20-30, 14 Rachel Place, Michael Hardesty, owner, Wayne Falco applicant, garage and compressors, PIN number 261806392165. HGC 20-31, 245 High Street, Wayne Daly, owner, Armstrong Chimney and Stoves, applicant, rebuild chimney, PIN number 261918321028. HGC 20-32, 287 Noank Road, Lawrence Taylor, owner, J. Millis, applicant, heat pump system, PIN number 2618052832278. Todd Brady, secretary. All right.
Can you people hear me now?
Yes. Hi, Don.
Hi. Little technical difficulty.
Yes, I had some as well. So no worries. So we will open public hearings. I believe the first one to call, and Peter, correct me if I'm wrong, is HDC 20-15, 54 West Main Street, AB 26 Realty, which is that mortgage movement signage, which I'm assuming they're not here and that in deliberations we'll just move to continue. Is that accurate?
That is the first one.
All right. HGC 20-25, 56 West Main Street. Zalepinos owner, Robert Bouchard, applicant, walk-in cooler and surround.
The applicant contacted me today and he is not going to attend the meeting. He'll be at the next one.
Okay, so we will move to continue this one in deliberations. HDC 20-28, 19 New London Road, Scott Schroeder, owner applicant, widened driveway. Mr. Schroeder, you may present your application.
Hi, this is Scott Schroeder. So I forwarded all the information in. I'm not sure exactly how this works. I have it on my desktop, but Linda, do you present the application that I submitted or?
Actually, Peter will go through it for you.
Okay.
Can you see that? Scott,
Yes,
can you see that where we're at on the screen?
I cannot see. I still see somebody's Windows Explorer window.
Yeah, that's all I see too.
No, let me see what's going on here. So you don't see the screen. Who else sees the screen?
I don't see the screen.
It's just your Explorer screen where it has the,
Your
Yeah,
file.
the
Do you have multiple
files.
screen? Do you have multiple displays, monitors? Maybe it's showing the wrong one.
Shoot, this is not on there. Oh boy. All right, hang on a second. All right. So I gotta get my laptop fixed from the town.
I see the screen now.
You just have the main screen, so I'm trying to. How do you see it?
Yes.
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 All right, so let's try this one here. I can magnify this one though. There we go. All right. How's that? Now do you see that, Scott?
Yes, thank you. Yeah,
Okay.
so that's the existing condition right there. And what I want to do is just widen it. Right now it's 11 feet wide, and I want to make it 22 feet wide, same length. So I'll still have the same apron. It's just decaying driveway, and my neighbors has a 3-family across the street where they park on the road, so I want to alleviate parking on the road. So I'll end up with 4 parking spots there instead of just the 2. And this is the company who gave me the who's going to perform the work. This is the quote for the work.
Okay, so that's it. So just that. Okay.
So Scott, you'll have the existing asphalt and then the area in red that's asphalt, and then you have like this crushed stone driveway next to it.
Yeah, that's correct. The crushed stone will go away. That's just there because some of the building I was doing on the lot. But yeah, the whole outline of the red and then the existing will be the essentially 4 parking spots.
Okay.
The apron, the whole apron, and then driveway will be removed, and then per the quote, it shows how to do the compact process gravel, and it'll be all asphalt with the apron also.
All right. My only question was the crushed gravel, that little triangle of grass I thought would look a little weird, but
Right.
I have no other questions. Does anyone else have any questions for the applicant?
No.
No?
No.
Nope.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Schroeder. Would anyone in the audience like to speak for this application? Would anyone in the audience like to speak against this application? HDC 20-28 is closed. HDC 20-29, 368 High Street, Dawn Miller, owner applicant. Don't know if I see her. Did you happen to hear from her, Linda? I know you didn't, or else you would have said something, but.
No, I didn't. What is she, what is the,
It says owner applicant rebuild chimney.
oh, yeah. No, I hadn't heard from her. They seem to be really on top of it, and they were doing it all themselves. So I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe they're having trouble joining as well.
I'm just looking at their application.
Dawn Miller, here we go. She just came in now.
Oh, good.
Promote her up. See what happens. Is she there now? Let's see.
I don't see her. Oh, there she is. She's muted.
Unmute. And there we are.
Hi, Mrs. Miller.
There we go.
I'm
We-
sorry.
That's okay.
I don't do a lot of Zooms.
No problem. We actually just got to your application, so your timing's impeccable.
Today's our lucky night then.
Yes. So I don't mean to put you on the spot, but you can begin your presentation.
All right. Do you want to start?
Sure. Our basic plan is that we are rebuilding our chimney, which is falling down. And the plan is to rebuild it from the roof line up. And unfortunately, the chimney company says that our current design is not compatible with code for the flue that has to go in there for the furnace. And he said it needs to be a little bit wider at the top. So we'd like to duplicate the design on our next door neighbors who we believe the house was built at the same time as ours by the same builder, which is the 380 High Street.
Like that one right there.
Yep.
Yep, that's the style we'd like to do.
And he's going to use tumbled brick, so it looks original.
Those are just changing it from that to that.
Correct.
Correct.
All right, it looks like you have everything here. Peter, I was looking at the side of my screen, but it also has their application. Did you already scroll to the Heritage Chimney?
Right.
Piece? Yeah, I just want to make sure everyone saw that. You might have already gone to it and I just wasn't looking. So it looks like everything's there. All the materials are there. Does any of the commission have any questions or comments for the applicant?
No,
Good
For
to
some
me.
reason. Oh, there you are, Eric. I lost you for a minute. Did you have any comments or questions, Eric? You were the only one I didn't hear or see.
Nope, looks good to me.
Okay, all right, very good. Thank you very much, Mr. and Mrs. Miller.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Would anyone in the audience like to speak for this application? Would anyone like to speak against this?
do we just have to explain to them the process here now? So,
Oh,
Yeah,
sure,
we-
go ahead, Don.
yeah, we just go through all the hearings first. And then once we're through with the presentations, then we take each one in turn and consider and vote on it. So you can either hang around for the vote or you can wait and talk to Linda tomorrow.
We'll just call him tomorrow.
We'll call in tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
you.
you.
Since no one has any comments or questions further on the applicant, HDC 20-29 is closed. HDC 20-30, 14 Fort Rachel Place, Michael Hardesty owner, Wayne Falco applicant. Mr. Falco?
He's muted.
There he is.
Hello, there we go.
So, Mr. Falco, you can begin your presentation, although why don't you start before I start asking you questions? Go ahead.
Okay, so as you all know, there was another builder that started the process of approvals. I had took over. Some things are different. I apologize for that to start with. Second of all, I did the best I can putting together a package based on our prior meetings. The windows have changed, the height has changed, the side door, and also the air conditioned condensers in the back. So I'm looking to see if we can submit this new app, and I'm looking for approval on that.
So this is an entirely new application.
I believe so.
Okay, so are you, Peter, if you go through the app, are there plans for the whole building? I'm just trying to make sure that I understand it.
The foundation was the original foundation size, so
Okay,
that hasn't changed. It's basically the height of the second floor got increased, and he
Right.
changed the window configuration on the second floor also.
right. So if this isn't, and help me out procedurally here, but if this is an entirely new application, then is this in replace of the previously approved application? Since he's not looking to amend it, and there are
Well, I'd like to do whatever you guys feel most comfortable with, and try to resolve the ongoing issue. I mean, time is kind of the essence of, that we're going backwards at this point, and it was supposed to be done somewhere around Christmas time, and the project's getting tied up. So if amending it is easier, and is more feasible for everybody, then I'm open to that as well.
So I think we have two issues.
Mhm.
Oh, well, we probably have more than two, but in my mind, I think we have two big issues. The first issue is more of a documentation issue. So we have a previously approved application, which has detailed plans in it with measurements, materials, and architectural drawings, which was approved.
Mhm.
And then we have a new application. And I say that because if it's a new application, in my mind, it's not tying. You want to change an existing approved application. So you either have to amend your existing application with architectural drawings of the changes, or you need to make a new application with architectural drawings of the entire building.
I have that.
Okay, so I just haven't gotten to that yet.
Yeah, we're
Correct.
just going through the pictures yet. So we were going from the views of where you're seeing this from the public access ways all the way through first.
Okay.
And I also included a picture of the house right there that we just passed, along with the new garage, to show that they're identical as far as trim goes, color goes, windows goes. It all matches the house.
That house right there you're talking about.
Yeah.
Same design with everything.
Yeah. It's all AZAC trim with hardy board siding. The windows match the house. The windows match the neighbor's house as well, outside of color. The neighbor's house is the same windows but brown. Well, that's the hardy color that we used, which matches the house. This is the air conditioned condensers that are in back of the building. From what I can see, you can only see those up off the cliff, and we're open to putting some shrubs or whatever needs to be.
Roll back to the picture of that.
I don't think the air conditioners matter, right, Sarah? Because you can't see it from a public way.
That's about your only view from the street is through that little right there.
Yeah, and that's up on that cliff. Is that correct?
That's
Yeah.
backyard, Peter. You can't see those. Not
All
from,
right,
not from 216 or 15 or whatever.
that's the picture Seamus took, so I don't know where he got it from, but
Oh.
okay.
I think he's in that tree.
So if we go, keep going down to the renderings here. Apologize for scrolling like this, but here's where we left off. We had the color there, you got the compressor there, shingles, a little bit blurry, but
Yeah, they're architectural timberline shingles, and they match the house as well, being charcoal.
just an overview of the layout there, right there. So yeah, where did you get the picture from? Where did you get it from? Over here somewhere.
No, that's not
Oh,
even.
maybe from No Ink Road. He must have got it from No Ink Road up here. Maybe coming down, shooting this way weird. I don't know.
Wow, that's some lens he'd have.
Yeah, I hope he has a safety harness on that one.
I used to live 2 houses up. You can't see the back of that house from 215.
Let me just shrink this down a little. This is too big now.
I went back to the picture. You can see he's standing on the ledge.
Here's the renderings right here. This would definitely be easier live, but here we go. All right. So it's where you go. These are the windows you're talking about here. They got changed.
Yeah, they used to be like a transom window, 2 transom windows. I mean, they didn't look nearly close to anything else in the surrounding area there. And again, I apologize for my, I didn't even realize how important that was, to be honest with you. You guys had pointed that out the last few meetings that I was on, and enlightened me a little bit, but it's a learning curve, and I'm willing to do whatever we need to do to resolve this.
I think the transom windows helped to reduce the scale and mass of the structure. I think that's why it stands out so much between the second floor double hungs and the original transom.
Yeah, again, I tried to match what was in the neighborhood, and not even realizing the historic district part of it. I was just trying to be aesthetically correct with what's there, and I can appreciate the historic issue. In fact, I have a whole development that's not in the historic district, and I won't accept anything that's not period correct, just because I appreciate the historic. But I did not even take that into consideration here. I just looked around at all the other houses, and I wanted it to fit in. And
so there are a lot of full 2-story garages in the neighborhood.
I meant the windows.
Oh.
I went to windows, and we were talking about the transom windows, and if you can see there on the house, those upper windows are the same.
Yeah, Mr. Falco, I don't disagree that you didn't match the windows with the other existing windows. I think the concern that Eric was bringing up is that it appears that once they switched from the transom windows to the existing windows, the structure became larger, and it looks like a very large structure for the property. It doesn't look like the 2-car garage with the storage space above anymore. And that's kind of the effect that I think that Eric was talking about with regard to the windows.
Okay. I mean, the structure is still, if we were to take those and turn those into transom windows, it would, I felt it would have a lot of wall, just a lot of, like, if you look at the back of that building, it's not aesthetically pleasing because there's no windows in it. It's just big and bulky looking. I thought the windows broke it up a little bit, but that's just my opinion.
What was the depth of the structure? There's not a measurement on there.
Was it?
Call it 30 feet.
It was 25 by, was it 32? It was the same as the original footprint, though.
No, I know. I guess when you added the double hung windows, I think with the additional height, even though not significantly higher, I think what ended up happening was you created a lot of extra wall space that's visible in one fashion or another. So if you put the transom windows in, which I'm not sure anyone, I mean, I'll speak for myself. Like, I don't really care about the difference between the transom and the double hung, but you've now created a lot more mass to the structure. And I think that's what was raised to Todd, though he's not here, when he raised this as an issue several meetings ago.
We figured out what the dimensions of the previously approved application were versus this particular application. I tried to go back, but I realized that what we have now available to us online wasn't available to us then online.
Okay, I actually had a meeting out there with Seamus to verify all the measurements,
Okay,
and we measured everything together. And he verified the width, the length, the height, the window size. We went in great detail through it all to verify it.
well, I'm not
The roof
saying
pitch.
these measurements are wrong. I'm asking about these measurements in comparison with your previously approved application.
Yeah, they're the exact same. We started the process before.
Sorry, Wayne. So if you look at the original application, the height on the structure was 22 feet, 10 inches. You've now got 24 feet, 11 inches. So like you said, you gained about 2 feet.
Correct. That's 100% correct. I'm sorry, Eric. I thought we were talking about the length, like the depth of the building.
No.
No.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yes, that is
So
correct.
on the
It did-
south elevation, which is I think the left side, if you can scroll down or scroll somewhere.
Yep.
So that's the left one. So on the original plan that you submitted to us, there was 2 smaller transom or awning type windows,
That's correct.
lower part, and there were no upper windows. So looking at this versus that, it's just a dramatically different structure. I don't think anyone's complaining about the trim or the quality of construction or the materials, really. At least I'm not. I think the issue was the change in the perception of mass and size.
I would agree with that. Eric, where did you find, did you have that original approved application?
Linda-
Yeah, it's too bad we couldn't do a side by side.
Yeah, Linda emailed it to us a while ago.
Oh,
Peter, I can email it to you if you can pull it up.
Yeah, if I'm able to. I can try.
You can do it.
Yeah. Email it over and I'll see what I can do.
All right, just send it to you.
So that being said, again, I apologize for my ignorance. I guess that's obviously no excuse, but I thought there was a height restriction. I was kind of familiar with that, and when I looked at that, we were in compliance of the maximum height restriction. Aesthetically, I need to kind of ask for lenience on that, because I didn't realize that it even went through the historic district. Like I said, I kind of got brought into this to frame underneath the original builder, and then the original builder was gone. And again, I made a few adjustments that were not approved. So I need to do what's right here.
All right, so this is it right here. Can you guys see that?
Yep.
All right, so that's it's page 1, page 2, page 3.
Okay, stop there for a second. Like that, just without even knowing measurements, looks like a garage. And when we voted on it, I remember thinking, that's a big garage. I'm not even like in love with the height of that garage, but it went through. But that looks like a garage. All of the pictures that we look like at now looks like 2 houses side by side. It's just scale in every change. I mean, the trim is great. I don't think we have issues with anything, as far as workmanship and materials. It's that you have a different structure that, in my opinion, I would have never okayed, because it looks like we just let someone put a second home on their small lot. That's the issue. So it's not, and with all due respect, this was thrown at you. You should have
Yeah,
you're in a tough spot and I get that. It was
Yeah.
wrong that you were not told of this, that of
Yep,
us.
I had the opportunity to research it though, and I didn't. So I accept responsibility for it. But I
But
think
that's
that
our issue
picture,
now, is that we okayed something and that is not there now. But as far as your work and things like that, I mean, that's really not, I don't think that's our issue. Our issue
I,
is,
appre- I appreciate that for sure. But that picture that you just showed was a like a cut and paste thing. I don't know how to scale that one there,
right,
because obviously that building wasn't there. Somebody, put it there
right.
in the picture, but I don't know how to scale that actually is.
It may not be.
Because if you look at the roof line at the bottom where it matches the roof line of the house, I don't think that 2 foot difference that shows it's like way more than 2 foot difference.
Peter, are there more pictures that have any scale on them?
Of the current or on this one?
No, this one. If we keep going to page 4, 5, or 6, what are those?
We have these, which are the measurements. They're just giving the roof line measurements, 22 feet, 10 inches.
Right. There's no denying that. I understand that, but the actual picture that you guys are talking about to make it look like a massive garage was kind of cut and paste and put on that lot. But if you look at the bottom where the soffit is, the roof line, it appears that to me that cut and paste thing, yes, exactly, is not to
Yeah, they're showing
scale.
the
It
roof
would have
line
been
right in
taller.
between. Yeah.
It would have been taller even using the original plan.
Showing the peak here. Is that other picture on the other one show it pretty much? Let's see, this one, the peak is showing almost even with the top of the window on this thing. Or maybe
Yeah, and that can't be. If you look at now mine,
yeah, go back to the original one. Yeah, let's see if I am.
Making you work today, Peter.
I know, this is pretty good. It's if I be good at this, this would be great. Let's see.
verified, Pete, verified.
I know. Let's see which one I'm gonna go to here now. Uh-oh, where am I? Oh, no.
I think the original one that's submitted is probably pretty close, because if you look at the side by side, the soffit lines up a half a dozen clapboards or so higher than where it was shown in the photo. I mean, I'm guessing it's 4/4. I don't think it's like significantly off. That's kind of what I'm saying.
Hang on. All right, bear with me. Bear with me.
I guess what kind of shocks me a little bit is like all the neighbors came over and really complimented how nice it looked, and then it seems like the only complaints were outside of the neighborhood as well. And I know that doesn't matter, but the people that have to live around what you're claiming looks big and bulky was very like.
You guys seen this?
In fact, the neighbor across the street asked me to, come over and give him a quote on the garage as well. So I don't think that anybody in the neighborhood had an issue that I know of anyway. I don't know if you guys gotten any complaints there, but.
This is it right here. That's about the closest one. Can you guys see that or no?
No.
No, yeah, of course not. All right. What the hell?
I think the angle of that picture too could change that, Eric, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the angle of that picture could deceive your eye as far as the clapboards lining up unless you were on that level.
You're probably correct. I'm just saying it's not significantly different. It's not like a doghouse and you built a 2-story structure. That's what I was trying to get at.
That's correct.
It's the combination with the look of it. I think it looks like a house and not a garage. with the increase of height and then the different windows.
What am I showing right now? Anything?
Nothing.
Face.
That's it? It's a, oh my word, what the heck's going on with this?
It seems to me the question is, are we going to deny the application based on an extra 2.5 plus or minus feet on the height of the structure?
I think it's I think it is under 2 feet less difference, like an inch or so. I think it's just right around 2 feet, not 2.5.
Sarah, you're muted.
I know, sorry. Have you been by, Don? Did you drive by the structure to look at in comparison of the other houses? Because it towers over, maybe towers an exaggeration. It is substantially over the existing neighbor.
Yeah, no, I've been by.
There we go. Jesus. What was my mind here? Oh, here it is.
It's definitely a massive structure, you know.
Yeah.
It
So if
looks
you
like some. It
I'm
looks
sorry,
like
go ahead,
somebody.
John.
It looks like somebody has an apartment over a garage, is what it looks like.
Right. That's the one I was looking at.
Hmm.
Well, yeah, it's up a little bit of elevation even on the ground, but I don't think it's, I don't know, in that picture it looks like it's almost the same height as the neighbor's house, maybe.
It's the angle,
Yeah,
but it is
no, I
significantly taller.
agree with that.
So maybe to move things along, I mean, a lot of what we're talking about can be talked about in deliberations. I mean, I think we're fine with the materials. The workmanship we've clearly noted is excellent, and that there aren't issues there. It's what does each individual commission member want to manage with, you know, the actual change in size, which we're not going to get too far here. It is, the application is what it is. So I don't know, Wayne, if you have anything else to add, or if any of the commission members have any additional questions for Wayne. No?
I just,
Yeah.
it's going to be a, you know, I'm hoping the cure is not worse than, you know, so, I mean, that's a major project to correct. So I'm hoping that little difference, although it appears to be way more than what it actually is considered.
Okay. All right.
Peter, could you just show that picture again of the, you know, the actual photo of the house and the garage as they appear now?
I'd say the front looks very similar. It's the sides that are a little different. You had the one window, the 2 garage doors, and basically the same setup there. It's the sides that were different. Front and the rear pretty much the way it is.
Okay, I see what I wanted to see. That's fine.
Okay. This is the other side right there.
All right. Does anyone have any other questions or comments for the applicant? No?
No.
Okay.
No.
Would anyone in the audience like to speak for this application? Would anyone in the audience like to speak against this application? HDC 20-30 is closed. HDC 20-31, 245 High Street, Wayne Daly, owner, Armstrong Chimney and Stoves applicant.
Let's see, one attendee that showed up, let me just check.
So Linda, have you had any communication with Armstrong Chimneys?
I think Don just came in. And
Oh, that, I just thought that was Don
Yeah,
Levinson.
he was going to try to join for this one.
I'm asking him to unmute right now.
Okay, I'm here. I don't know if it's working or not.
It's
Yeah, it's
No.
working.
Okay.
We just pulled up your application so you can present it.
Okay. Let's see. Basically, we need to rebuild the chimney top. It's in very poor condition. Flashing's bad. There's some crumbling brick on it. So we're just looking to rebuild with another matching type of brick. It's a solid molded brick. So the color is going to be almost exactly the same as it is. But the problem is,
Oh, wait a minute.
We lost you.
Lost you.
Shows you there, must have a weak connection.
Yeah, I think he's frozen. He fell off.
Still showing him he's there, but
Oh, I don't see him. Oh, is he
Oh,
guest one?
no, now he just disappeared. All right. Guess one. I don't know who guess one is. He was Don before. Hope he came back. Let's see, attendees. No, that's Scott Schroeder.
It's not a perfect system.
No, that's for sure.
I wonder if he needs to log out and log back in.
there we go.
He's back on.
I apologize. It kicked out and kicked. Now I'm back in. So
No problem.
I
We
don't know
didn't
how
get
much
too
of it you
far,
heard.
so you can just start over.
There we go.
Are you
All
still
right.
there?
So the marked up picture just shows basically the problems that are with the chimney. It's been leaking pretty bad. So the best representation I had was the picture to the right with a stone cap on it. Even though the picture to the right is not the same size chimney because Mr. Daly's is an 8x12 flue size. So it'll be a rectangle again, exactly like it is. We can copy the same pattern on top. But like I say, we're just looking to add the brick piers and a stone on top.
Okay.
So you're gonna make it look the exact same as the left, but just add the piers?
I'm sorry, what was that?
You're gonna make it look the exact same as the one on the left, just add the piers? And
Yeah, the one on the left is actually Mr. Daly's chimney. So we can copy the same pattern up top and then just go back to the brick piers and put the stone on top, which would be fitting for the era of the home.
Okay.
That's it.
Your application has brick piers will be built and a granite cap installed, so it looks like all your materials are there. Does anyone have any questions or comments for the applicant? No? All right. Thank you, Don.
All right, thank you.
Would anyone in the audience like to speak for this application? Would anyone in the audience like to speak against this application? HDC 20-31 is closed. HDC 20-32, 287 Noank Road, Lawrence Taylor, owner, Jay Millis, applicant. I know he was here.
I'll ask him to unmute.
I don't see him
How about
anymore.
now?
Oh, there you are.
Here.
Okay, you've been here a while. You can begin your presentation.
Okay, my name's Jay Millis, Millis Heating and Cooling. So on behalf of Larry Taylor at 287 Noank Road in Mystic, we're looking to install 2 condensers outside of his home and some line sets going up the side. If you look on the GIS, I'm not sure what that kickout is on the left side. It doesn't actually exist, and you can see it in the photos that I'll show you, but there'll be a condenser on the left side and then one in the rear, neither of which are visible from the street. So this is the left side when facing the front, and that's where that kickout was pictured in the GIS. It doesn't exist. I don't know if it was a thought on a chimney at some point, but.
Well, maybe it's the bulkhead.
Right to the right.
Yeah, well, maybe that's kickout's the bulkhead.
Oh yeah, it could be. I mean, they favor the rear of the house, though. I mean, I don't know if it was like originally spec'd for a chimney or something. The house isn't that old.
Okay.
So there's my street view of the left side of the house, which there's a garage in the way. So, but behind that garage in that back left corner would be one condenser. And there's the other one in the rear of the home. So the rear of this house has the cliff behind it. So no real visibility from the street or cliffside. And this would be right side when facing the front. The 2 black lines indicate the line set drops. They will be in a ivory slim duct, which actually matches the trim. It's kind of like an eggshell almost. So color wise, it would really blend in nice as far as matching the trim and fitting the home. They're going to be pretty symmetrical, given, you know, inches, but those drops should be at the same height of the two same units going on in either room there. And this is opposite side of the house, where there's actually a 2nd story drop and a 1st story that will share the same conduit. Those I tried to, I mean, they're not really visible from the street on that side. This is a street view of the right side from, I think I took it from the sidewalk. Again, they'll be symmetrical.
Those are the 2 lines right there you're talking about?
Yep, exactly.
That is it.
All right. Does anyone have any additional questions or comments for the applicant?
No.
No.
All right. Thank you, Jay.
All right, guys.
Would anyone in the audience like to speak for this application? Would anyone in the audience like to speak against this application? HDC 20-32 is closed. So we will move to the consideration of public hearings where all but staff and commission members need to be muted.
Okay.
So I will first call HTC 20-15, 54 West Main Street, Bab 26 Realty. This is the signage on West Main Street, which I move to continue.
Second.
Oh,
Did you catch who seconded, Linda?
I didn't hear the second.
Eric.
Okay, thank you.
So Sarah, I, Heather,
Aye.
Don,
Aye.
Eric.
Aye.
The application's continued. HDC 20-25, 56 West Main Street. This was the walk-in coolers. This was also a continuation, so I move to continue. Sarah, I, Heather,
Aye.
Don.
Aye. Do we
Oh, I
get a
didn't
second?
second. I'm sorry. I was just
Second.
Okay,
all right. Sarah, I, Heather,
Aye.
Don,
Aye.
Eric.
Aye.
The application's continued. Thank you, Don. HDC 20-28, 19 New London Road, Scott Schroeder. This was the widening of the driveway. Any comments or motions?
Move to approve.
Second.
Any comments? All right, all in favor? Sarah, aye. Heather,
Aye.
Don,
Aye.
Eric.
Aye.
All right, the application is approved. HDC 20-29, 368 High Street, Don Miller, owner applicant, rebuilding the chimney. Any comments or motions?
I move to approve.
A second. Any comments?
I'll second it.
All right, all in favor? Sarah, aye. Heather,
Aye.
Don,
Aye.
Eric.
Aye.
The application's approved. HDC 20-30, 14 Fort Rachel Place, Michael Hardesty, owner, Wayne Falco, applicant. Comments or motions?
I would not have approved this. I would not have put this through. So I'm in a bit of a pickle because this is not something I was feeling when we approved it. That's a big garage for that lot. So
I agree with Heather. If they brought this to us initially, we would have said, I would have said, I think it's too big for the surrounding area. I think that we need to continue it, make it smaller, make its mass smaller. And I'm empathetic to the fact that it's built and the financial considerations that it would take to correct it, but it is not something that I would have approved either. And again, I'm in a pickle because it's built.
right.
Anybody else have any comments or thoughts?
I think just the arrangement is what is creating the additional mass. But if you look at them side by side, it's, you know, even excluding the picture that shows what it was supposed to look like, even if that's not scaled right, the other photos just look significantly different, or renderings.
They do. And I mean, that sometimes happens. Where I'm getting stuck is it's not so much that they're so much different, it's that I wouldn't have approved what's being presented now if it had come before us.
I agree. What I'm saying is the original renderings showed a structure that was smaller,
right,
to the eye.
Right.
Don?
Well, like I said, I think the question is, are we going to deny it based on basically 2 feet of additional height? Because I mean, it was approved with the original height. I mean, maybe the renderings weren't right, maybe they weren't, the perspective wasn't right, but you know, the dimensions were there. And that's what we approved.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying which way I'd vote. I'm just saying,
Right.
you know, that's
Right.
which,
Yeah, I understand. You're breaking it down to, we're talking about 2 feet, not something different.
Well, 2 feet and different, more difference. It's not just height. It's a different, it's
Windows,
different
doors.
in a couple ways. It's just different. It's not what we approved.
It's a different structure.
It looks like a second home on the same lot.
Yeah.
And I'm very empathetic to the financial hardship. Like I, you know, being in a historic district commission causes an additional financial hardship on people to begin with. And this doesn't help, but, you know, I would have probably liked to have seen, and, you know, they came back and they put in an application of what they have built. So depending on the outcome of this meeting, maybe they can find a way to make it a modification that doesn't cost as much money. I have no idea.
Right.
So Any other comments or suggestions or discussion before we call a vote? Don't.
Technically, we don't have a motion.
Well, no, I was about
Yeah.
to make,
Okay.
see if anyone was going to make a motion, but I didn't know. I had to cut discussion short if anyone had anything else to say. Okay, so does anyone want to make a motion on HDC 20-30 14 Fort Rachel Place? No. All right.
If,
Um,
if you do make a motion,
mhm.
in the other commissions, they seem to make a positive motion, such as, motion to approve, and then the votes may not approve it, as opposed to a negative one where you just motion to deny.
Well, I
don't know
tried
if that helps
last week.
at all.
It didn't work. All right, so that's kind of what we did with the fence that last week. So I'll make a motion to approve HDC 20-30 14 Rachel Place. Are there any seconds?
Second the motion. The motion. Just the motion.
Okay. All in favor? Sarah, no. Heather,
No.
Don,
No.
Eric.
No.
All right, the application is denied. Is Mr. Falco still there? I don't know. All right, HTC 20-31, 245 High Street, Wayne Daly, owner, Armstrong Chimney and Stoves, applicant to rebuild the chimney. Motions or discussion? I move to approve.
A second.
All in
Don
favor?
motioned?
I'm sorry.
Is that Don who made the motion?
Heather did.
Heather, okay.
All in favor? Sarah? Aye. Heather?
Aye.
Don?
Aye.
Eric? Eric?
Aye. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't hear you. Sorry. All right. HTC 20-32, 287 Noank Road. Lawrence Taylor, owner, J. Millis, applicant. This was the installation of the HVAC system. Any comments or motions?
Move to approve.
I'll second Don's motion.
All right. All in favor? Sarah, aye. Heather?
Aye.
Don?
Aye.
Eric?
Aye.
All right, the application is approved. All right, moving on to pre-application hearings. Do we have anyone out there who is there for a pre-app?
There's B.
Alex Giannakopoulos, is that one for?
Do you know who that is?
I do. I'm familiar.
No, is that one I don't know, so. And Marissa LeBrecq didn't speak either, so those are the two that are out there right now. I don't know if either one of those was for pre-applications.
Alex is here for pre-application, I'm thinking. And
Yes.
Marissa is here for 5 Water Street for SIFT.
Okay. All right, so there we go.
All right, I think Alex has been here for a while, so we'll let him go first.
Shows that he's unmuted.
I'm here.
Oh, there we go.
Alex?
I'm here.
Oh.
So go ahead.
I've had it muted and hidden for a while. Can you see me or no?
No.
Oh, let's see. Oh. Wow.
Just talk.
Okay. So We have we're putting in a small stone wall
No,
about 2 feet high. What?
we're not putting it in. There's a pre-existing stone wall on the property. Do you want me to talk, Alex?
Yeah, I'm getting kicked. I keep getting kicked off.
All right, I mean, I can just do it. So is that okay? Do I just say I'm turning on the other side of the table?
Yeah, it's a pre-application, so you can.
Okay. Well, there's a pre-existing wall that runs on the south side of the property. And it, because of the elevation, it dips and, oh, hi, Alex. So we wanted to level it in some places, and it would be at 0 inches at some points and at max 16 to 18 inches additionally on top of a pre-existing stone wall that runs on the property line. So, and we're not even, I went out on the street and you can't see it from the street. But we did take a picture because I wanted to make sure you guys all saw it and told us what you'd like us to do as far as it, because it is going up in height in some parts of the wall.
So you can't see it from a public way?
So I'm on a corner, so down by the garage, you can't see it on New London Road. And then if you're coming up Latham from Noank Road, there's trees and bushes and you'd really have to squint to see a stone in between the bushes and the trees.
Do you want me to show
Throw that picture up, Alex?
Yeah, I'm gonna try right now. The internet just keeps kicking me off. Hold on 1 second. Street view. Yes.
All right, never mind. I'll try and do it.
No. I can't do. It's not even loading the photo now. No. Here we go. Can you see that?
That's from the street, and on the left, by our meter, that's a walkway, so that's not the stone wall. To the right, through those bushes, there's maybe a stone of the stone wall, but I don't think you'd even see the part that I would add a couple of stones to. It's behind all of that.
So you're just adding more stones on top of the same stones on top of the other stones?
Correct. It's not even, in some spots, it'll be about 16 to 18 inches of stone. And in some other spots, it'll be 0. It just, we want to level it out.
Is it natural stone?
Natural. Very natural. Actually, it's from my yard.
Shape to the stone?
Natural shape.
Okay. I'm good.
So Pierre, is it 12 inches that we have to do approval for? That's what I thought it was. Or is it 16?
It's 12. Inch?
12 inches. So I would say since vegetation doesn't count and you're going 12 inches, you should probably just throw an application in just to be on the safe side.
Okay, Linda already has it. I'll just do it next time around.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Now, Alex,
Oh.
I made you host by mistake, so you got to kick it back out.
What, kick him out. Get him out of here.
Why can't, he's the host now. He's gonna
You're the host, Alex.
Kick us out.
release the control.
Sure.
Kick yourself out.
I always wanted to be a host.
Heather,
you
what's
kick-
your address? Just so I can make a note of it here.
It's 16.
Thank you.
Don't forget a GIS map and photos of the area.
Oh, we have it all ready. Except not on that computer next time. You have to go to a different room. Alex, kick yourself out.
I'm
All right. So I guess we can move to Marissa LeBrec.
He's got to change it over quick still. He's got still as the host.
I
Oh,
know. He doesn't listen, Peter. This is the problem.
Hello, can you hear me?
yes.
Okay, I'm sorry, my camera won't work. But I don't know if it would be easier for you to be able to like see the application if you oh, you have it. Perfect. So this is actually not for Water Street, it's for 46 West Main, the old Bartleby's.
Sorry, I forgot.
It's okay. So there are 3 signs existing on the building now. There's one in the front that's hanging, and then there are 2 on the side. So we're basically just changing those from Bartleby's to Young Buns, which will be the name of the donut shop. So if you scroll down, I think they're at, if you scroll down one more or a couple more. So that's the rendering, but it's actually not what it will be. If you continue to scroll, sorry, I did not put them in a good order for you. Okay, so, yep. So the one on the left at the top where it says clean next to it, that is the one that we would like to hang from the front of the building. And then dimensions are on there as well. For you to see. And then the one on the right above will be on the side of the building. And the one below it will also be on the side of the building. So if you scroll down one more, you'll be able to see like where it will be, kind of just over where the old Bartleby's one is currently. And then if you scroll down one more again, you'll see them on the side of the building. The other one is for Harp and Hound, so it's not ours. So those are the 3 signs, and then we would like, you can stay on the last one. So the last one is on the, if you're facing the building, the right side, there's a window, and we would like to turn it into a takeout window because we don't, to kind of make it so not as many people are in the building, especially right now. So we would like to make that window a takeout window. And I know that the sidewalk had to be a certain measurement, so I would have to circle back with Adam on that, but I know that we are aware of that when we were putting this together. And then lastly, if you scroll up to the beginning where it says proposed front north elevation. Yep. You'll see we are putting in a hood. We would like to put in a hood, and it will, the only thing you'd be able to see from the street would be the very top of it. The part to the right is building, so you wouldn't see that part. It would just be the actual very top that you would see from the street. And that is the basis of the application.
Confused on this elevation. So is this like behind the
So the door that is at the very bottom right, leads to a staircase. So this part above it is it's on the side of the building, but you can't see it from the street because there's actually a staircase and a hallway in front of it.
Okay.
Yep,
It's a
so
straight
it's
setup. It's like
on-
I'm built around 2 buildings.
So it,
Where's it
I
go?
think they're just showing it there, but it really, you would not see that from the street. It's just for show on this.
Okay.
Where does that store go?
The store.
Oh, the door.
Oh, the door. So it's I believe it's an emergency exit for the tenants.
Yeah, it's a secondary means out for an apartment.
So when you walk up to the top of the stairs, there's a door to your left, and that's a hallway to the apartments. So it's just a second means of exit.
This isn't even our thing, but there's no issue, Peter, with that takeout window being in front of that before you get farther down the road.
So we did talk to Leo, the owner, and so that door actually none of the tenants have keys to, so nobody actually uses that door. It's just a means of, I believe, an emergency exit for them. They exit from they enter and exit through the Pearl Street.
Yeah, they got an existing direct exit out the other side.
So they don't even have key. I don't believe they have keys to that
It's
entrance.
not even our thing. I was just curious. So
They went through with the fire marshal. I mean, we walked through, we kind of looked at everything on that. So Tony's familiar with what was going on over there.
as long as he's good.
Yeah, exactly.
If we go back to the sign seems kind of big for the size of the building. Is that the scale?
Unfortunately, they're not to scale. I tried my best to kind of place them over the signs that were existing, but my Photoshop skills are not that great. But the signs that are there right now are roughly that size. They are pretty big. The Young Buns one is 8 feet by 3 feet. And the Fresh Donuts and Coffee one is 4 by 5. 4 by 5, 4 by 6. But it's in that range, I'm sorry. So they're decent sized signs.
But you're just going over the same thing that was there.
Yeah, we're going over the exact same signage that was there. The only thing that's changing is the sign that's above the door would go from being 4 feet tall to 4 feet wide then. But that's the only difference in that sign, is that we're just moving it horizontally.
This one's 8 foot by 3 foot.
The left one, I think she's talking about.
Oh, the left one. Yeah, I'm sorry. For the front of the
Hanging,
building.
you talking about the hanging ones? Or you talking,
Yep.
Oh, okay.
So that would be the
So
only
I
thing.
thought Don was looking at the other ones.
So it's the same size, just we're just moving it horizontally instead of vertically.
Do you know how big the original Bartleby's is? Sign over there?
Yeah, that one is so if you go back up, the exact measurements that are on the Fresh Donuts and Coffee, those are the exact measurements on both of those
Exact same size. Okay.
Yep. So they do look big, they do look big, but that is the size that they are. I mean, give or take with my editing skills.
It's just my aesthetic feeling. They seem kind of loud. It's just my feeling, the yellow. But is there a reason you're going with this color scheme?
Well, so this yellow is actually not the yellow that it will be. It's just the way it looks on the computer. It will be a softer yellow. It just is because we had the same question about it. But it should be a much softer yellow. It was just the way it appears darker on the screen. because we said the exact same thing.
So more like the lettering and the larger sign probably.
Yes, more like the letter. Yeah, it'll be lighter for sure.
I don't really have a concern with any of it. My only comment is if you go back up to the sign on the front of the building, and this may just be a scale issue, it seems like the words are small comparison to the size of the sign, but it could just be a scale issue.
I mean, there is a decent amount of space. I mean, even if you scroll up one more and look at it, kind of, yep, right there on the top left.
It's better than the other one.
Yeah, I really think it's just the way I photoshopped it. I was just trying to like put it there so you could like visualize it. But it does have more space than the one, say, on the right, above and below the words.
Okay. Does anyone have any comments or direction for the applicant? Any additional comments or direction? No?
I'm good.
All right. Thank you, Marissa.
Thank you.
All right. Mr. Falco is an attendee still. Is he looking to speak as a pre-app or are we just? Yes, okay.
Has his hand up.
Yep.
Okay, I got it. Is that unmuted? Can you hear me?
Nope, you're good. You're good.
Does the board have any recommendations on what they suggest we could do to minimize the look of the size, whether that be to put two rabbit runs, maybe from the peak down, change those window sizes to make it look like it's almost like two dormers so it looks smaller? Or does anybody have any kind of recommendations on what their thought as far as correcting the issue? Nobody?
I feel like Eric, you would have a good idea for that. If any of us, I feel like he's the most qualified to answer that.
Are you familiar with what I'm talking about, Eric, with like building a soffit that protrudes from the building from the peak down lower on the walls and around the sides?
Like a
to
chicken.
make it, excuse me?
Like a chicken run.
Yeah, we call it rabbit run. Yeah, yep. So it would appear that the roof was steeper with two dormers on each side. So it would look smaller, almost, I hate to say cape looking, but cape
I
looking.
know what you're saying.
I mean, I can draw that and show it, but
So,
if anybody had any suggestions on or ideas.
I think you guys were really concerned more about the scale, right?
Right.
That's why I was trying to go through the historic guidelines of like where it would be the scaling of the size on the lot versus what's there. It's not the workmanship, it's not the quality of the product, it's not even what's there.
So I understand where you're coming from and trying to find a way to diminish the size, and I'm open to anything. But without kind of seeing it, I apologize. I'm not the best at giving direction in regard to diminishing scale. And I'm not trying to be difficult. I just don't know how to do
Sure,
it.
no, I appreciate that, honestly. So what would be the best step to draw what I'm thinking would be more appealing to you? What's my next step for that? Do I have to redo a whole new permit or just show amended
I think
ideas?
you have two options. You can come to the next hearing and do a pre-app like you're kind of doing right now and run through what your thoughts and ideas are and put them up and get feedback, or you can just go for it and put in an amended application and see what happens.
And that would be in 2 weeks. It would be able to be looked at and voted on, or?
Yeah, June 16th.
Is the inside finished on the second floor?
No, it's the problem with the upstairs was on the original plans, the homeowner wanted the downstairs sheetrocked and finished. I mean, he wants the floor finished, he wants the walls painted inside the garage itself. He has a Tesla and he wants it heated because of the he has trouble keeping the car charged. In order to have anything future, we put futures in because you're not going to be able to get to those after. And I think I'm not positive on the first builder, but that's the way he worded it to me. They're going to stub it out for futures, and I don't even know what a future is, but maybe hopes of I don't know. It's heated storage is what it is right now, but we stubbed out new, some plumbing up there, some wiring up there to make sure that it was accessible for approval down the road without getting into redoing the downstairs.
I would suggest that if you go to the architectural guidelines within the historical district booklet, there is a section on dormers dealing with that. So that might benefit to take a look at that before you design anything with the dormer. But it does get into the shed dormers with the sides and everything in there.
So you have an idea what I'm saying, what I'm talking about, Pete?
Well, I do, but
yeah,
it's just I'm a building guy, so I know.
Yeah. So, but that usually makes it appear to be much smaller.
Right.
It'll look like the walls on the side are, 6 feet shorter.
Right. And this actually, they have some depictions in the HDC guideline book that deal with the dormers that show actual pictures of how they prefer them to be done.
Okay. All right. I'll look at that. And so on the face of that building, though, just to get you guys kind of up to what I'm thinking is the front of the building would appear to be a 12 pitch now instead of a 6.
So you're going to cut in a couple rafters and then?
No, you basically take off the siding. You build like ladders and you put them on the side of the building, and then you put a shingles on top of that. So it looks like 2 rabbit runs, or as you said, chicken runs. So it's gabled down steeper, and then it has the dormers on top, which is the existing roof line.
So then it would have like a little eyebrow returning, or would return all the way across?
Oh, no eyebrow return. I mean, that's an option too. I'm not opposed to that, but I think more aesthetically it would look better to just not do the rabbit run horizontally, but take and make the peak of the front, instead of being like this, we'll leave that, but then you run rabbit runs like this, so it looks like the walls on the first floor are only like 8 feet. I'll put the picture together. I think that'll help everybody to get a visual of it. I would have to submit it anyway, so.
I would suggest going through the exterior guidelines for how they design it according to the HTC standards.
Okay. Do you see anything in particular there, Pete, that you're looking at now that makes this a mute?
But they're showing like 3 different pages of different ones. They got a Gothic revival, they got a colonial federal, they got a Greek revival, they got a bunch of different ones that they got. They got the prominent dormer with the bungalow style. They got a couple of, I mean, there's a bunch.
Is there a Cape version of it?
They do show the Cape version, but they show that with more of a return on the sides with the shed dormer.
Okay.
I think you just got to do whatever you can do to make it look
similar to what they got there. Yeah.
Or just make it look smaller.
Okay.
I think the large sidewalls is what's throwing everyone off. So if you can break that up somehow. I think.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what I'm talking about. So I think if I draw that picture and represent it to you, that it would be self-explanatory at that point, how it would look. It'll look significantly smaller, almost smaller than the original.
That would be great.
Yep.
All right. Thank you.
All right. I'd like to thank everybody for their time.
Thank you.
Stay
Thank you.
safe.
All right. Public communications.
I have a question about public communications. I got a call today from someone who's certainly can't come in, but we're not holding meetings here. And she doesn't have internet access. And so the only way that she can ask to or present something to you as a pre-app is to do it by letter. And I wasn't sure, I'd never seen that done before. I wasn't sure what your feeling is about that.
Well, when you say
Can she do it? Can she do it by phone? Just call it in?
You know what? I didn't think about that. I did not think about that. She was quite adamant. That was the only way she was going to be able to do it was by letter. But that's a good point.
She
There's a
could do a
phone
letter.
number you can
Yeah,
call in.
I don't know. I lost my head there when I was talking to her.
Well, she could do the letter and then call to explain it, you know? Or
Right.
amplify.
Okay.
You know.
I mean, could someone else present it for her?
It
might get weird. I don't know. I just think of suggestions.
Yeah, that's also, that's an option too. I'll talk to her about that.
What is it that she's doing, Linda?
So there is a decrepit or deteriorating actually fence on her property that she would like to take down. And we were not sure if that's something that is considered like a demo. So Pete looked it up in the guidelines this morning and it said that, you know, fences should be maintained and retained rather than, you know, just gotten rid of. So we thought, well, it's probably something that she should run by you, at least in a pre-app meeting, so that you know what it is that she's taking down. It seems to be that people feel like they need permission to take down a fence. I'm not sure if that is even the case.
Okay.
Yeah, the language on the fences is kind of, good thing you brought up, because I was going to bring it up too, is that it says existing walls and fences should be preserved wherever possible. Restoration of existing historic fences is always preferred to replacement of the same. And it says where fences have been removed, the reconstruction of historically appropriate fences, but it doesn't say anything about if you just got rid of the fence altogether.
Right.
Is this on High Street by any chance?
Yes.
Yes. Yep.
I'm familiar, I believe.
So yeah, I was actually going to ask you if someone was to take down a fence in the historic district, is that something you want to see prior to them doing it?
It's tough because
I have to look at the stat.
I've seen it.
I'd like to look at the statute to see what it says. I don't.
Because really all the language we have in there has to do with when you're repairing or restoring a fence. It's not talking
Right.
about getting rid
I
of the
think
fence.
if it's the fence I'm thinking of, it's dead. It's a dead fence. And
it just stinks because like there's fences that should just go away, and then there's fences that I'd be really sad if they ever. I mean, I wouldn't be sad, but
Some of those really nice wrought iron ones.
wrought iron ones, or the one at the Hart House that's on West Mystic that's got that really neat detail, which unfortunately is also falling down. But you know, there were some pretty skilled carpenters that made some pretty cool things that are some around in some situations still. So, but you know, a picket fence from Home Depot that was put up 10 years ago that's falling over.
I think it's an old fence that.
Well, I think
that's cases probably where it's going to be, they're not going to do anything. If you tell them to, you know, if you can't take it down unless you replace it, they probably would just do nothing.
So I think the point is that, or it sounds to me like that it's really case by case. So you're probably going to want to hear from them before they take down a fence, a homeowner.
Yeah.
Probably.
Okay. All right.
And I'm of course speculating on who it is, but I feel like I have a good idea what fence we're talking about.
So I think those are really good ideas. I can contact her, tell her that she could put something in writing and then call in to explain it. And she just didn't understand why she would even have to appear. And I just was explaining it's kind of like freedom of information. It's a public meeting. It's how it's done.
It's interesting because she knew enough to ask you if she needed to appear.
She may have been told from a neighbor that's what you're saying.
Oh, okay.
Again, speculation.
Got it. Okay. All right. Well, there it is.
Obvious history, but I was told that there were wrought iron fences everywhere, and during World War II they came and took them all and made them into stuff.
And what did they do with them?
They took all the federal government took all the fences and for the war effort.
Oh my goodness.
So they were all up and down Elm Street and Library Street and High Street and West Mystic. And I guess there's one fence left on West Mystic that the person didn't want to give up. So that was kind of interesting.
That is interesting.
Feds taking our stuff.
Right. All right. So anything else on public communications?
Linda, I didn't go by today to see the updated situation with the Bank of America. I can only hope, would that be under new business or just bringing that up?
They mowed their lawn.
What are we talking about again?
That's what I was wondering. I had asked Linda at what point, I don't know if it becomes blight or if it's something right in downtown Mystic is in our jurisdiction at all, if their landscaping is out of control. But apparently I hadn't checked before the meeting, so apparently they finally mowed it.
Yeah, so I did actually, as you know, forward the picture to Tom. I don't know if that's something
hopefully it's a one-time deal. I mean, it was really, really, really long. I mean, I didn't measure it, but it was almost probably at a blight height.
I kind of thought it was too, but Tom didn't seem to think so, and he's more the expert. I guess measures.
Hopefully they hired someone and that won't be an issue all summer.
It was pretty bad.
It was bad. It was like, holy moly.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that they mowed it.
I put the banner up announcing the project last night.
I saw that. Speaking of banners, I don't have any problem with your banner. And I should say this carefully. I don't think I have a problem with any banner, but in our last meeting, Peter, we had discussed the Pizzetta takeout around back sign on Tuesday, so 2 weeks ago. And, my comment was anything to help the local businesses in this lack of business as a result of COVID, I'm fully in support of, and I wouldn't want to suggest taking down their takeout sign. I don't know if it was Wednesday, it was either Wednesday or Thursday, when I drove by Pizzetta, and they had 6 signs in addition to the takeout Outback sign. Their whole building is plastered inside. Am I the only one who saw this?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of their signs. I don't know if I saw. Why am I so fuzzy?
So again, they're all temporary. I don't even think that we have jurisdiction over them, but I just wanted to make a comment about it because there's a lot of banners around there. So
my opinion would be, I think we should give a little deference for a little while. And if come August, September, it looks like Atlantic City, maybe that's when we deal with it.
Well,
Yeah,
again,
I
don't think there's anything we can do because it's temporary. So even if we did have a problem with it, we can't do anything. But I just want to make a comment about it.
Well, come September, it's not temporary anymore.
Right. I didn't mean to cut you off, Heather.
I was just gonna say, if that's what they think is going to help them right now, then I don't want to get in the way of that. And I think there's a time that we can step in if necessary. It's not yet.
I would agree. I just wanted to
I'm
mention.
sure a lot of those signs, they don't exactly like themselves, but they're doing it whatever they can to get the business over there.
Right. I was just getting asked if more about other restaurants who don't have outdoor, how how all of this extra outdoor space is happening, but that's not us at all. That's obviously zoning.
Right.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's a big difference now for restaurants that don't have any available or very limited versus the
Yeah,
restaurant.
there was an executive order out there for temporary patio spacing, which we've been given some leniency on. And so there's a planning process where they go for an ASP from the planning department. And there's a form, and I believe the approval is till November 15th on the temporaries.
Yeah.
How do you guys measure the 6 feet between the tables?
That is health department. That has nothing to do with us.
Yeah, because some of them don't look exactly 6 feet apart out there, but.
Yeah.
Why am I so fuzzy?
What about that stuff in the back of Bezetta? Did we ever figure out what the deal with that stuff is?
I don't think so. That weird black fencing.
Yeah. And the camouflage top.
Right.
Something for the birds? Was it something to protect from the birds?
I think it was some type of sound barrier that they might have put up to try and appease Steamboat Wharf, but I don't ever remember. And maybe they did bring an application. I just don't ever remember seeing one. And we, every application, not every application, Mark presents most applications. Their manager, Ken.
Oh, Brent,
thank you. Has presented one or two and Mark hasn't available, but I just don't remember that fencing one there. But now it's so confusing because they have their picket fencing in the parking lot.
There's a lot going on.
Patio. You can't really tell where one thing starts and another stops back there.
There's a lot.
that liquor store still needs to come in for their side. And is the bank ever going to come in for their side? Or does one of my trucks need to take it out?
The blank sign?
Yeah.
I don't think they're ever coming. Yeah, is the owner, Walter, practicing in that office? Is he the only one there? Is that what we're hoping for? Because their firm split, right?
Their firm split. I don't know who's practicing out of that actual location.
Maybe nobody is.
I was talking about the other one that the guy for the mortgage keeps coming back for.
Oh, the woman who runs Shutters and Sales lives on Fisher's Island.
Yeah.
And she keeps saying she promises she's going to put an application in. But I think she's overwhelmed by trying to put in an application while being on Fisher's Island. So I'll send her an email tomorrow.
She works.
She's
fine in this area while living on.
Alluded to the fact that she hasn't been here since March. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. Or maybe I misunderstood her. But she implied that it was challenging to submit the application because she wasn't available to take the pictures of the signage and such.
Okay.
So I'll check in with her tomorrow and see where she stands, because I did expect to see one by now.
She had her assistant contact me a couple of weeks ago, soon enough, a couple of weeks ago, that they could have been on this agenda.
Mm-hmm.
We played phone tag for a couple of days, and it was tag you're it, and I never heard back from her.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think she really understood what she was trying to apply for. I think it was very little direction from, I think her name's Lori.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so the assistant didn't really have a lot of details about what exactly she was even supposed to be applying for.
So I spoke with Lori at length and was very clear as to what she needed to do.
Yeah.
To which in the conversation, she had said she lives on Fisher's Island, so she'd try to pass it off to her assistant who could perhaps do it for her. And I guess that's where it stalled.
Yeah.
So I'll circle back and light a fire under her, which usually, I mean, she's receptive. It's just getting to the next step. So, okay.
Okay.
We were on public communications. Is there anything else? No. Approval of the minutes from May 19th, 2020. I move to approve.
I will second.
All in favor? Sarah, aye. Heather,
Aye.
Don,
Aye.
Eric.
Aye.
The minutes are approved. Old business.
I thought we had a policy that we were going to try to see people's faces when they appeared at our meeting. Are we like, I don't have a strong preference one way or another. It's just sometimes we see faces, sometimes we don't. Do we have a feeling about that? You know, when people are
Given the option, I think some people don't have that ability, or they don't want to. I guess that's always there.
Yeah, I don't think we can require that, can we?
I every time I punch them in, I give them the option of, you know, joining by video also, and that's why a few of them did pop in by video. But every single one of them, I was given the option to join with video, join with video. Some just choose not to.
Yeah, no, I'm not pushing to have them. I was just wondering if we're treating everybody the same.
I'd rather not see mine. You could just take me off. That'd be great. Thanks.
You're getting fuzzier and fuzzier, Heather.
I don't know what is happening.
This is like a science fiction movie here. I don't know.
Hey, I'll take it until I fuzz until it's a whiteout.
Any new business?
I was just wondering if maybe in the future, if just a suggestion, if you were going to, with the denials, if you are going to deny someone, if maybe you give one of the design guideline criteria as to why it was not going to be approved, whether it's historic context, the scale, the rhythm. Because, you know, we have these different ones in there with line items of different reasons. So then people would be able to have that.
I think in our discussion, we were pretty clear that it was the scale. So you're suggesting that when we call a vote, so when I say all in favor, but so just to replay this one. So I said all in favor, or I make a motion to approve, someone seconded, and then I said all in favor, and then it was no, 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 no. So you're saying when we say no because of scale?
Well, there was a denial at that point, right? If it was denied at that point?
Well, no, because it was a motion to approve, but everyone said, no, we weren't approving. It wasn't a motion for denial. And I'm looking for guidance here because we don't deny many applications.
No, it's new to
So I was
us.
going to say, if there's no motion to approve, it should go to motion to disapprove. I would think.
Well, so two things. Two things. I talked with Deb Jones, and her feeling from the planning perspective is that you do the positive motion, you motion to approve, and then you vote no. So, and I don't know statutorily if that's an accurate thing. I think certainly historically that's what they've done here. And so I'm just telling you travel knowledge. The other part of it is we did talk maybe last year, because you don't deny a lot, that on, for instance, CBA, they give 3 or 4 reasons. I think they have to give 3 reasons why, and that gets written down on the motion. And so on your COA where you've denied it, you're going to want to list probably 3 things, whether it's the scale, height, but you know, so that you've got that documented on the COA.
Well, I mean, in this particular application, well, it was a brand new application, to be honest with you. So it would be denied based on scale, which was clear in our discussion, which is why we have the discussion. But in the actual vote, because it was an affirmative or positive rather motion, it was no, 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 and we didn't base our reason. So help me out here. When I get the COA, I can put denied as a result of scale per discussion and deliberations. But Peter, to go back to your point, if we have a denial in the future and it's a positive motion, are you suggesting that every time someone says no, we say why?
Or if you do not approve, is there motion to disapprove at that point?
Well, that's where I was getting kind of stuck, and Linda had said make a motion to approve and then everyone denies.
Yeah, because well, then it's gonna be confusion, because if the person comes back to us now, they're gonna be like, well, how do I bring this forward at this point? So then I'm gonna be going through pretty much with the discussion. But if you guys were to specify certain items, then we can work with the people about getting those items corrected for coming back.
Okay.
Because we have like orientation. I mean, that would be one in there. The orientation of what you're doing that comes into play. Historic context, the scale, the rhythm. There's a lot of different things in there that are choices.
Really,
of
what we want them to do is build what they were originally approved for, which
right.
is, you know.
What are you reading from, Peter?
The guideline book, the Historic District Guideline Handbook.
Yeah, I got it.
And this is all the application processes. This is dealing with the design guidelines, the scale and the siting of the historic context.
Right.
Okay.
But if you look at the way that the application was presented, it was a brand new application. So you have to completely discard the previous application as if it didn't exist. All right, so we looked at the brand new application and no one approved the application as a result of the scale and massing. You know, it was, I'm speaking for myself, it was too large for the particular lot. So you're concerned that because the application to approve was denied, that we didn't do an actual motion to deny?
Just the reasons why it was denied.
Well, the reason, and I don't mean to pick, I just want to make sure I do it right the next time. So
Right.
the reasons were in the deliberations. You want us to make the reason.
Maybe if they're reiterated at that point as to why you're not approving it.
All right, so
Scale,
if I
because it basically
say
comes
no,
down
I'm
to
going to say
scale.
no as a result of scale and massing.
Right, correct,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
And I seem to, all my suggestions seem to be like not such good suggestions, but the other thing is other commissions, they'll make a motion and then have a discussion. So for instance, tonight, if you made the motion and seconded it to approve, and then you had the discussion about why that you didn't like it, why it was not favorable to you, it was the scale and the math and all of that, then you've kind of got that as all part of your motion. And
But
then
we don't have that when I say comments or motions, and then everybody has a discussion before a motion is made. I don't understand the importance of the order.
Because technically under Robert's rules, you're not supposed to have the discussion until you have a motion.
All right.
Why can't you move to deny?
I'm not saying you can't, I'm just saying historically, the conversations I've had here in the office are that typically it's a motion to approve, a second.
Yeah, that's what I said. I'm on a planning and zoning commission in another town, and that's what we do is we'll go through the motions and then we'll go, if there's no motion to approve, do I have another motion? And then somebody will come up with a motion to disapprove. And then we
Well,
go
that's
on
where
that.
I was
That's
going.
what we did
That's what
last
we did
time.
Last week.
Yeah.
So I just not trying to be difficult. I'm just trying to.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's just that I'm just trying to expedite the process where when they come back to me afterwards, I get them ready for you for next meeting for different things. So I know exactly what it is we're trying to get squared away. If the discussion wasn't good enough for them, at least if we had the clarity of what exact items we
Okay.
wanted to work on.
Well, when Linda gives me the COAs on it all right, so long as everyone's in agreement, it was denied as a result of scale and massing.
Yeah, okay, because we haven't had too many denials to begin with, so there's not many to go by.
Right. So is that all right with you guys, scale and massing, unless there's something else you want me to add?
That's fine.
Material.
You want to say
what
something about, you want to say something about the in situation, in terms of the neighborhood and the size of the lot or something like that, comparison to the house? I guess that would be scale. I guess that's scale.
That would be scale. What did you say, Eric?
I said material, but I don't know if I spoke out of context.
Material.
But
Like materials, like when we denied the fence because it was vinyl. But I didn't. I only caught half of what you were saying in the beginning, so I might have jumped to the
But
wrong.
do you have you don't have a, I'm sorry, I should be more specific. Do you have a problem with the materials?
For his?
Yeah.
No, I was saying, I thought you were speaking in general, not really.
Oh, okay. No, I'm asking specifically. So Linda every week sends me the applications to sign. So on this one, when I sign it, I'm going to obviously check deny, and then I'll write in comments, this application was denied as a result of scale and massing, unless there's something else someone wants me to add.
Which, yeah, I think that'd be good, because if you're going to appeal something, if somebody's going to appeal, then at least they have that to go by at that point on what they're going to appeal on that.
I mean, you could put materials as well and just say the change in the windows, but it's not materials, it's the size. So forget
Well,
it.
and that's kind of where we get stuck, because we have to, in my mind, and correct me if I'm wrong, but conceptually, we have to put out of our heads the previous application, because this was a brand new application. I mean, we were comparing it to the previous one because that's what we approved, and we're saying we wouldn't approve this one had it come before us originally, but this was a brand new application. So I don't necessarily want to tie the two of them together. He still has an approved application on the land records or on the town records.
yeah,
Yeah, out of curiosity, I mean, like, Linda, like historically, has this ever happened before? Besides Desmaris's roof that you talked about, Sarah?
That you
What is
denied?
it gonna do? I don't. Like,
What happens when someone's denied and they've already built it? I mean, it's happened before. Pizzetta's patio, but we approved Pizzetta's patio, because it conformed. I mean, people will put roofs on and then come but I don't know if there's another one where the board had angst over it.
Yeah, I only can remember Desmaris. And that actually happened long before I came here.
Was that his High Street house? The one that he.
Yeah, it was High Street.
It's actually the house next to the fence.
yes, it is.
I saw the address and I said, geez, that sounds really familiar. And then I looked it up and said, okay.
There's a fence, the one on the corner, and then it's Desmaris's, and then it's the one with the $50,000 cupola.
Yeah,
Possibly.
well,
Yes. I think she's on a corner, she said. I don't remember.
yeah. Well, she's on the corner of Route 1 and High.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one that's like on a triangle. Yeah. I don't know. The thing with Mike just kind of stinks because I don't know what is a reasonable solution, but it looks really bad and stupid the way it is right now. But that's a lot of work to tear that down.
Well, maybe he can come back with something. He seemed pretty confident. I have no idea what he was talking about, but he seemed confident that he could make a list.
Yeah, I don't know what rabbit runs or chicken runs are.
He's talking about, like, if you've been by my house, Heather, on the dormers on the top, how I have like a lower roof line that's only like a foot or two wide.
Yeah.
That's what he's trying to do. Something like that to like try to scale it down. Those sides are just so, it's a whole other building. That's what it is. I don't know. I know the guys, I feel bad.
Right. I do too.
Yeah, it's horrible.
All right. I think we did old business. I think we did new business.
Well, I just have a technical question. On all our other hearings, when I just clicked on the link, I automatically went to Zoom. And tonight, when I clicked on both Linda's, your link and your email, and the one from the planning people, it asked for, the password and all that other junk. Is that something new, or can we eliminate that in the future? So we just click on the link and get in?
You should have been able to click on the link and get in. So I don't know. How did everybody else join?
I just clicked on the link.
I'm just looking to see if maybe there was a second link, like.
Yeah,
maybe
sometimes
following
there,
Only link. that
yeah,
accidentally clicked on.
maybe if you clicked on this, on the second one, maybe you had to put a password in.
Right. All right, well,
Yeah. And the other thing too is sometimes if you take and copy the link and put it in your browser instead of click, if that doesn't work. Sometimes copying the link and putting it in your browser.
all right.
I'm not a Zoom expert.
No, this is just the first time it's happened, so that's, I don't know why it was different.
But when I joined, it was very different as well. I didn't get an option for video. I didn't get an option. I was muted. That never happened before. So I think sometimes it's just wonky.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Anyone have anything else?
Pete, can you stay on for 2 minutes after?
Two.
Um,
I got dinner waiting for me.
I'll make it 1 minute, I promise.
Okay.
Good night, everyone.
So after, when you adjourn, I think you're going to be still live streaming. Just understand.
Yeah, I'll shut it off.
Okay.
It's not that big of a deal, but yeah.
Okay.